Hello everyone, welcome to our juries. I am Arjun Pratap Advocate and I practice at District Court in Haryana. In my previous video session, I have discussed about the medical terminologies regarding anatomical bodily positions as noted by the medical experts in medical reports while examining the body. I have provided a link of that video in the description below. For those who have not watched that video, I advise must go through that. Well, in the present video discussion, I will be talking about the autopsy report, which is otherwise known as the post-mortem examination report. The post-mortem examination report, or the PMR, is an important piece of evidence in a criminal trial, which helps the court in reaching to a just and proper conclusion, and also aids the advocate, both representing the defense and the complainant, in corroboration of evidence with the other witnesses or reports. The word autopsy has been derived from the ancient Greek word autopsia, which means to see for oneself. In the early 3rd millennium BC, ancient Egyptians were one of the first civilization who practiced the removal of internal organs of human for examination while practicing the religious ceremony of mummification. The great Julius Caesar was also subjected to autopsy when he was stabbed by his rival senators. Julius Caesar was stabbed for about 23 times. Well, the autopsy is a highly specialized surgical procedure that consists of a thorough examination of the internal organs of the human body so as to ascertain the time since death, the cause of death, whether it was natural or unnatural, and if unnatural, whether it was suicidal, homicidal, or accidental. In case of newly born infants, the question of live birth and viability assume importance and it should be determined. Now the mode or mechanism of death is the physiological disturbance from the cause of death which is incompatible to life. For example, syncope, asphyxia and coma. Well, as said earlier, the post-mortem examination is a highly specialized procedure. So it is usually carried out by a specialized class of medical experts called pathologists. And while conducting the post-mortem examination, apart from ascertaining the time since death and other heads mentioned in the post-mortem examination form, the medical experts should strive to mention the type of weapon used in causing the injury. Section 174 and 176 of the Code of Criminal Procedure empowers the police officers and magistrates respectively to inquire into the case of death. As the post-mortem examination report is an expert opinion, so it falls under the ambit of Section 45 of Indian Evidence Act. Now, there are two types of post-mortem examination. First is the clinical or academical, and the second one is the forensic or the medico-legal examination. In case of academic or clinical post-mortem examination, the medical practitioners usually conducts the autopsy on the consent of the relatives of the deceased, and the dissection is limited only to the area of illness or disease. On the other hand, in case of forensic or medico-legal post-mortem examination, it is only carried out on the requisition of a legal authority, and in this type of post-mortem examination, all the three great cavities, that is the cranial, abdominal and thoracic, are opened and explored. Apart from this division, there are certain techniques of the autopsy reports which are professed by the medical experts throughout the world. These techniques are: first, the technique of Virchow; second, the technique of Rokitansky; third, the technique of Ghon; and the last one, the technique of Letellier. In case of Virchow technique, all the organs are removed separately. In case of technique of Rokitansky, this involves a combination of in situ dissection with en bloc removal. Now, in case of the technique of Ghon, the cervical, thoracic, abdominal and urogenital organs are removed and dissected into organ blocks. In case of technique of Letellier, the cervical, thoracic, abdominal and pelvic organs are removed en masse and subsequently dissected into organ blocks. The time of performance of postmortem examination is also an important factor. As far as possible, the postmortem examination should be carried out in daylight and not in the artificial light, as in daylight the color matching is more accurate. Also, the differentiation of colors in the artificial light may be misleading. However, striking colors can be made out in the artificial light, but the faint shades that occur in the wounds as a process of healing can be misleading. The medical expert conducting the postmortem examination of the deceased is expected to establish the time of assault, the time and cause of death by observing the process of healing of wounds. As in this stage, the wounds assume a specific color which occur at specific time in chronological order. As in our country, the majority of population is of dark complexion, and when an autopsy is carried out in artificial light, it is not easy for a medical expert to locate the bruise or contusion, as the dark complexion masks the bruise or contusion, and sometimes it may be left undetected. As I have earlier discussed about the various aspects of postmortem in detail, now I will be talking about the procedure of postmortem examination. That means how it is carried out. First of all, the body should be identified by the police official who brought it to the medical expert for postmortem examination. Also, it should be identified by the close relative or close friend who was present at the spot. In case of unidentified body, the general appearances of the body describing the race, age, sex, color, any scarring on the body, tattoo marks, and distribution of hair should be noted down carefully for the purpose of identification. If there are clothes on the body of deceased, they should also be carefully examined for the purpose of stains of blood, semen, mud, or any stains of wear, tear, burns, etc. Apart from that, the clothes should also be examined for the purpose of whether the situation or condition of the cloth corresponds with the injury present on the body of the deceased. Also, the age of the deceased should also be inferred from the teeth and other appearances. In case of cord or ligature around the neck, its exact position, the manner of knots, and the material used should also be noted down carefully. The time since death should be carefully examined and interpreted with great caution from the rectal temperature of the body, rigor mortis, and other situation of the body. Apart from that, the condition of the body, whether stout, decomposed, or emaciated, should be carefully noted. The eyes should be carefully examined for the softening of eyeballs, and the opacity of lens and cornea should also be noted down very carefully. All the natural orifices like mouth, nose, ears, vagina, urethra, and anus should also be carefully examined for the presence of any injury or any discharge. Now thereafter, a careful and a thoroughly investigation should be made on the body of the deceased from head to foot and both anterior and posterior to detect any injury, and if any injury is detected during this thorough examination, it should be very carefully noted down comprehensively, that is containing all the aspects, its nature, whether the injury is superficial, lacerated, or incised, its complete dimension, its specific location on the body, and the color. In case of internal examination, head, thorax, and abdomen are opened and explored, and all the walls, membranes, organs, and cartilages present there are to be opened and explored and thoroughly investigated. As in general practice, head should be opened first, then thorax, and then abdomen. However, if there is any fatal injury leading to one of the cavity, that in that case that cavity is to be opened first. But the spinal cord need not to be ordinarily examined unless there is suspicion of some injury to the vertebral column. During the post-mortem examination, if the medical expert is of the opinion, he may preserve any organ, blood or any material from the body for further chemical examination such as viscera and other reports. While after the completion of post-mortem examination, the medical expert has to form its opinion as to the cause of death and manner of death in the post-mortem examination report. I hope that this discussion may be beneficial for you. If you have any query, please do comment. For the time being, goodbye and have a nice day.